The Kansas City Chiefs report is presented by Manscaped. Smooth Sack Summer is here. Keep a smooth sack with Manscaped. Promo code Chiefs gets you 20% off at manscaped.com. Coming up on today's show, we're going to take a look at 5 free agents that the Chiefs could sign to reunite with in Kansas City. So, in other words, these 5 players have been Chiefs before. Could they be Chiefs again? I'll kind of give a firm answer after we discuss and break down each one of these players. Let's start with the player I would absolutely bring back, and that is Justin Houston, who I think when the Chiefs cut in 2018, they kind of thought not that he's cooked, but that his best days are clearly behind him. And look, that could be true to a certain extent, although the next season he had 11 sacks, but he's kind of stayed pretty damn good, man. He had 8 sacks in 2020. Bit of a downtick in 21 with 4.5, but last year, despite playing less than 50% of defensive snaps for the Ravens because he is getting older, still had 9.5 sacks. He's a good run defender as well. I mean, obviously with the Chiefs, he was terrific when compiling these monster numbers in KC. I mean, I think when you think about the most underrated players of the last 10 or 15 years in the NFL, Justin Houston is at or near the top of that list. I mean, he's one of the best pass rushers of this generation, well over 100 in his career, and I think he's going to go to the Hall of Fame. He's still good, and I've said it, the Chiefs have room for at least one more edge rusher, so why not bring him back? Why not give him a chance to chase a ring? That's one thing that remains vacant on his resume. I would love to see Justin Houston don the Chiefs uniform one more time and be a part of a rotation. Look, he's not going to be an every down player, obviously, but pass rush specialist, a guy who can still stop the run, and a veteran leader in a locker room. There's no doubt he brings that to the table. So I'd like to see it happen. Will it? I'm not sure, but if you guys agree with me and want to bring Justin Houston back, type me in the comments. I mean, listen, this is one of the better players in franchise history, for being real. So spam me down below if you want to bring Justin Houston back to Kansas City. I'd like to see it happen. Again, will it happen? That remains to be determined. Okay, next up, another guy who played for the Ravens last year, Marcus Peters, who, tale of two stories, right? I mean, you look at the stats in KC, it's almost unreal what he was able to do in 3 seasons. 19 interceptions, that's more than 6 per year. 2 of those run back for touchdowns, by the way. 55 pass breakups, that's an average of 18 a year, and 5 forced fumbles. This guy was a turnover menace and has been that throughout his NFL career. Now, he's not at his peak of his powers anymore. Had an injury 2 seasons ago, so he's not elite. And obviously the Chiefs' cornerback room is pretty crowded with McDuffie, Watson, Sneed, and Joshua Williams. But Marcus Peters is still very talented. Now, the dilemma's there, right? A, the Chiefs have a crowded cornerback room. But B, things did not end that well. Do you want to bring Peters back into your locker room when toward the end of his time the first time around it was just kind of a headache? I don't know. He's older now. You would think he'd be more mature, but he's worn out his welcome a couple of times along the way. So, great player, unreal player when he was with the Chiefs, but I think the Chiefs are good at cornerback. I would probably stick away. Now, something I'm definitely not sticking away from is the Lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped, because listen, you don't keep things nice and trimmed down there. It kind of looks like the Amazon rainforest after a while. It's just out of control, and it's summertime, man. Things can get gnarly down there in this heat. So keep your sack nice and smooth with the Lawnmower 4.0, the best ball hair trimming product on the market. It's got 4 adjustable guards. It's got a wireless charging station, it's water resistant as well. You can use it in the shower. Battery life is terrific. You can easily pack it in your DOP kit when you're traveling. Promo code Chiefs gets you 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com. So check out this product. Check out all their other men's grooming products. Manscaped is the standard. Trust me, your balls will thank you. Melvin Ingram, who out of all these guys had more of a cup of coffee with the Chiefs. Obviously hasn't spent the bulk of his career with Kansas City or anything. But he did get traded to the Chiefs midseason a couple of years ago. I thought he played pretty well. Last year he even had 6 sacks for the Miami Dolphins. I think as a rotation pass rusher, kind of like Justin Houston, he can still have some value. I thought the Chiefs last offseason were going to bring him back. That was all the chatter, like they're going to re-sign him. They're going to bring him back, and they did not. He ended up signing with Miami, but I'd give him a 1-year deal. I think Melvin Ingram can still give a team 4, 5, 6 sacks. He could be this year's Carlos Dunlap, right, who played for the Chiefs last year, had 4 sacks, and was a good rotation player. I think Melvin Ingram still has that in him in the year 2023. Now, Chiefs Kingdom, subscribe to the channel to stay up to everything surrounding the Kansas City Chiefs. Training camp is less than 3 weeks away, which means football is in the air. We're going to have you guys covered with the latest Chiefs news, rumors, trade buzz, and everything else going on with this football team. So don't miss out. All you got to do is subscribe today. Kareem Hunt is next up here. Let's talk about the player first, then we'll talk about why it's probably not going to happen. I think you guys know the answer to that. But it's a shame how it all went down, because when he was with the Chiefs, I mean, this was like the next all-pro running back. Like, his rookie year when he rushed for over 1,300 yards, 11 total touchdowns, dynamic as a receiving back, he was awesome. He was on pace to have another unreal year the next year. Then obviously the video drops where he kicked the female in the hotel, and the Chiefs moved on. He's been good with Cleveland since then, too. Now, last year kind of was his least productive year in terms of yards per carry. Technically, 2021 was less yards, but only played in 8 games because of injuries. But 2020, he was still really good. But let's be honest. Even, number one, I think at best he'd be RB3 here behind Isaiah Pacheco and Jarrett McKinnon. And number two, once you make a decision to move on from a player like that after a domestic incident like that, there's kind of no going back. Like, I don't think you're going to go back 4 years later and be like, yeah, let's bring him back. We cut him because we didn't agree with what he did, but now we're cool with it, even though he's a lesser player. Like, I don't think that's happening. I think people can grow. I hope Kareem Hunt has, learned from that incident. And look, he took advantage of his time with Cleveland and put together some good years, but he's aging. He's not as productive. And again, once you factor in the first time they moved on from him, the chances of them bringing him back, that just seems very, very unlikely, even though Andy Reid is a big proponent of second chances. I'll be honest, do you miss Kareem Hunt? I'll say this. In 2018, the year the Chiefs lost in the AFC Championship game to the Patriots in overtime, if Kareem Hunt was on that team, they would have won the Super Bowl. There's no doubt in my mind. They should have won it anyway. Dee Ford lined up offsides on a game-sealing interception. They would have won that game, and I think they beat the Rams in that Super Bowl if they get there. But if Kareem Hunt's on that team, adding his dynamic ability out of the backfield, I don't think anybody was stopping that team that year. So that was a bummer. I don't think any of us should miss him anymore, but the rest of that season, maybe even the next year, even though they did win the Super Bowl the next year, yeah, I think it's fair to say that you could miss Kareem Hunt because he was so damn good. Okay, Sammy Watkins, ironically, someone who spent some time with Baltimore, Green Bay, kind of bounced around. Look, I'm just going to say this as bluntly as I can. You look at his recent years, the last 3 years, he has not been with the Chiefs. Or last 3, I can't even remember before. It's all blurry at this point. He's just cooked, man. He can't stay healthy. Sammy Watkins is cooked. Now, when he plays, he's still okay, but he can never stay healthy. He's not as fast as he once was. And when you look at the Chiefs wide receiver room, where does he fit in even if he's healthy? Is he like your number 4? Like, I don't think bringing back Sammy Watkins makes a whole lot of sense, but he's a notable name. He did some good things with the Chiefs. I'll tell you what, I just said that Kareem Hunt, if he was here in 2018, they would have won the Super Bowl. The Chiefs would not have won the Super Bowl in 2019 without Sammy Watkins. He was terrific in the playoffs. He was awesome in the Super Bowl. He was a big reason why they won that Super Bowl, but that's 4 years ago. Like, he's not what he was whatsoever. He can't stay healthy, so I don't think bringing back Sammy Watkins makes sense whatsoever. Now, shout out a name in the comments. Who's your favorite former Chief? And it doesn't have to be an active player. Like, you could say Eric Berry or Derek Johnson or Derek Thomas or Trent Green if you want to. Drop a name. Jamal Charles would be a great. I'll tell you what. Prime Jamal Charles with Mahomes in this passing game, forget about it. They might run the table. But let us know who your favorite former Chief is down in the comments below. All right, guys, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Enjoy your Friday night. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back in the studio with more content very soon. Training camp is almost here. So until then, go Chiefs.